I was born into a Catholic family, and the religion itself was a little bit more of a social or community-based religion rather than actually faith in God. Went to a Catholic school. My family taught me the Catholic faith, taught me all of the prayers, the way to pray with the rosary and everything like that. But the reliance on God wasn't so much there. It was more so based on our own actions. It was that idea that for us to be able to get into heaven, you needed to do good things. My dad was a refugee coming into Sydney, and my mum had met my dad when she was coming into Sydney as well. So we didn't grow up very well off, and so the idea that there is a God looking out for us all the time was a little bit more of a luxury thought, and the day-to-day of our reality was very much like, how do you survive? Growing up, that always meant that I had this idea that I needed to be a certain person and I needed to do certain things. That very much defined my childhood. I didn't actually realize that there was a difference between Catholicism and Christianity until maybe around late high school. By that point, I had joined the Christian society at my high school, and that's when I started to be a bit more curious about what that meant. I was introduced to my current church, Harbour City Church, by my high school tutor at that time. When I first came to HCC, I was still very much stuck in that mentality of my faith needs to be work-oriented. I was still very much in that mentality of I need to be a certain way. So Monday to Saturday Jess was very different from Sunday Jess. I just felt so lost as to who I was meant to be. Eventually that led to me struggling with the church and struggling with community, and I had stopped attending. At one point I realized that I needed to make a proper decision. If I am a Christian, if I believe in God and I believe the truth that there is a God, there is a higher power, then I need to really believe that from the heart and have my actions come from my heart rather than just because I think it was right. I started listening to the sermons more genuinely, and what I realized was all this time I had been putting on a certain persona or a certain personality of who I was. Because of the gospel of Christ, I didn't need to be that particular person. That I can come to church as I am and just take in God's word and have that transform my heart. I've embraced that God has given me these certain gifts and these certain quirks and characteristics, and that He loves me just the same. If I make a mistake, God still loves me, and that my assurance doesn't come from what I think of myself or what other people think of me. It comes from what God thinks of me.